back to another episode of the 6 Foot Nothing podcast. I am Monroe Martin. That is Amina Imani. We have Chloe Hilliard, Reggie Conquest, Derek Gaines, Dave Temple, and Menu in the Heart.
Yes.
Namaste, brother. Namaste.
I feel like hearing that voice, I feel like we gotta behave. Like that's like good.
Yeah.
We gotta behave.
It's like Joyce Littell in the Quiet Storm.
So you gotta have a drop with a little sexy woman. Talk to me, Moose.
You know what? Listen, I was thinking about that. I was listening
The Moose
to
at midnight.
Roy. I was listening to Roy Ayers today, and it's like always funny when you listen to like music from the 70s. They always had like a sexy woman saying some random shit, and I was like, "Yo, we need to bring that back. Like, we just need to bring that random woman, do a little chorus."
But that's what Rick Ross did with Maybach music.
Yeah,
just some
always
sexy
had
voice.
Maybach.
Man, we didn't even know what the fuck it was, but we liked it.
Yeah, she was like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
she had a British accent.
Hey, remember we kept making that girl do that, Derek?
Yeah,
that British chick.
Maybach music.
Maybach music.
That shit sounded so great. I like this Maybach
Also,
music.
that should be a lesson. That should be a lesson to not name your shit after a car because they don't even make Maybachs no more. So lesson.
They don't make Maybachs no more?
They stopped making Maybachs years ago.
As soon as we found out about them,
shit. What are all these people driving now?
So Toyota music.
So that's why they're driving the Wraiths?
I don't know, but they don't make Maybachs no more. Let me just confirm. But yeah, they stopped making it a while ago.
Crazy.
Because also the whole point of a Maybach is for you to be driven in it. You're not supposed to drive a Maybach. If you're driving a Maybach, it's kind of like you rich poor. You know, you should have a driver.
Employing people.
I heard Benny Siegel.
That name's still fire though. MMG.
Yeah.
Maybach Music Group.
But that was his way of bringing. Maybe that was his way of bringing it down.
Yeah, no, 2020.
Yeah, that's our shit. Like, no, we don't want that no more.
We don't want anything.
No coffee.
Tatted, fat, muppet.
Yo,
God,
somebody was talking about that on another podcast about how like there's so many stores that weren't looted because like those brands don't appeal to black people.
And certain stores that were looted that I was confused. Like Old Navy boarded up. Did y'all see Old Navy boarded up their windows and doors?
I mean,
they Old Navy.
They loot Old Navy even when there's not a fucking riot.
Yeah. If you go into Old Navy during the holidays, it looked like it got looted anyway.
All
like
over
some
the
Black
floor.
Friday sale.
I'm on sure. Old Navy.
Oh no, I've never been to a clean Old Navy. Every time I go to Old Navy, I'm picking shit off the floor, like just piles of clothes, just kicking it to get to the flip flop.
Just balled up.
And I'm sure that comes from someone quitting mid shift.
Yep.
Somebody just died. I'm not fuck this. I'm done.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way to really see if you want Old Navy shit. You gotta pick it up and shake it first. And then
I used to work in retail, and every person hated folding at the sales section because that's where you just pick it up and then throw it back. Nobody got no respect, and even as you sitting there folding, they'll still come and lift it up and then toss it right in your face. You like,
I'm that guy. I'll fucking shitty fold it back. I'm like, oh my bad, and then I'll just roll it up. And then
you know what I do?
I try to go under the
bottom
stack.
pair of jeans. I go for the bottom pair of jeans and flip the rest up like I don't need none of these shit.
Ow, here go the real looters right here in this podcast.
I take the bottom pair of jeans, let y'all go back to work.
You go to Old Navy to take
all
out
even.
He looks him right in his eyes as he does this shit. Like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah,
God.
I pick up stuff and throw it off to the side and be like, yeah, I don't like that. But no, man.
With the commentary.
So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that Reggie had his first celebrity sighting. I saw that.
Okay, all right.
That was
real.
That was his
cousin. That was definitely my cousins.
Oh, I knew
I was
that.
trying to help you out. I don't know who your cousins are.
No.
That he gets noticed. Reggie get noticed. Once New York opens back up and Reggie comes back to New York, he'll get noticed.
I thought that I didn't know people took that serious. I put that as a joke. Those people I knew.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was joking.
Reggie rooftop party famous. I'm telling you, Reggie gonna be able to get into rooftop parties and get one person in with him for free. So it's time to start kissing his ass now.
I'm pulling up, Reggie.
Hey, Reggie, it got to be me.
I mean, we got a spot.
I'm with my Philly beads, with my denim shorts and my white socks.
When are you coming back to New York, Reg?
I'm gonna start coming back like at a time. Like I'm gonna start coming down and staying for a week or two, and then I'm gonna start looking for a place in like August.
Oh, this nigga moved back to Philly.
Well, yeah, definitely.
He said,
I'm move back to Philly.
I'm going back. Reg, I'm going back the 16th, and my couch is
lit.
open.
See, that's
so
all
right. Look at that. Look at
God. Philly.
Wait, you going back the 16th of June or the 16th of July?
16th of June. I'll be back next week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's starting to come back, so I'm gonna start coming back.
Oh, that's crazy because I'm about to leave. But okay.
Where you going? Reggie, rent your place out then.
I'm going to Florida. Oh, that's not gonna be possible. Because I'm OCD, so I can't.
I'm gonna fuck your place up too.
Yeah, I can't. It's not gonna end well.
It's just because you got a fat boy bias, and you don't want his fat boy sweat on your bed.
I'm gonna fuck her place up. I'm not for a fact. I'm gonna fuck her place up. Yeah. It's like my own place in New York. I'm gonna be wilding.
Listen,
wait, Amina, how long have you been OC? Is this a lifelong thing, or has it come more to fruition since you're a mom and like you have your own place?
I thought it was gonna go away after I had my son, but it actually heightened. So no, this has been because my family has a history of like hoarding, and so it was always just busy. And then I got a big family, so I'm just very particular. I'm like a minimalist, and I don't like you'll come and put something down, and it's just a lot. I don't be having people over my house like that.
Yeah, her son not even allowed over there.
Yeah.
Son always at an aunt.
You gotta go.
Trainers.
Yeah. You don't know how to put shit back. You got to go.
Every time we went over there, the son is in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Yeah.
The closet.
No, we not gonna air her out like that. Amina is a great mother, and she lives in a very concise New York City apartment.
Thank you,
the great mother. I just said the little nigga not allowed.
Oh my God!
People like, see, that's why I don't let you stay here. That's why I don't let you stay, because you always touching shit.
Yeah, you ever seen Don't Be a Menace? You're like, you make sure you have your black ass back here by Friday. Because the social worker's coming and I'm still claiming your ass.
I'll stay trying to drag me.
Make sure you
Wait, but I actually admire. I mean, I don't want OCD, but I mean, if you could see my dining room table right now, I mean, you probably would break out in hives. But I definitely want to become a minimalist, and I tried to throw shit out, but it's kind of, first of all, I really want to throw shit out, but then nobody's taking anything now because people are still worried about coronavirus.
Trash.
So that's why you just throw it away.
Trash, garbage.
I feel bad.
Like that's hoarding. That's a sign of hoarding.
I did a whole spring clean, everything.
I'm gonna just hold on to this till coronavirus.
Yeah.
No, okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, when it comes to certain things like inanimate objects, yes. When it comes to clothes, I have a friend who takes clothes and donations for the homeless. So I've been holding that stuff till I can get it to her. So that is one thing. That and books and clothes are the two things I just don't want to put out on the street because there are organizations that could use those things. So that's been my holdup. It's like I clean.
You know another organization that could use them? The garbage people. Give it to the trash men. Yeah.
Yeah. Them homeless people, they want drugs. They don't care about no damn clothes.
They're just going to use your books to light up. They're just going to light them shits on fire.
Besides, you know that we were just talking about that now. This, you might as well throw them away. Ain't nobody taking no free shit. It's everybody fresh this summer. Everybody got gear now. We just looted the fuck out. Everybody fresh.
Yep.
So
we didn't loot, but I hear you.
Not over here.
I'm about to say, I ain't fresh.
Y'all ain't been on OfferUp looking for deals, huh? Y'all ain't been looking for the deals?
I'm so proud of that.
What's OfferUp? What is OfferUp?
No, but continue, Dave.
Explain yourself, Dave. Yeah, this seemed like a frugal tip. Go ahead.
Y'all don't know about OfferUp and Let It Go?
I know OfferUp.
Yeah, they're absolutely.
It's a bunch of soft shit.
Absolutely, you would sell your old stuff, but that's where boosters go now to sell shit. because everybody's online, even boosters. So that's where you can still get brand new shit for cheap because it's all stolen, and they're just like, yeah, give me $50 or $80.
But why is it called offer up or let it go? Why is it called?
Because they offering it up or they're letting it go.
Because you can make an offer. Somebody can be like, yo, give me $100 for these things, and you can be like, all right, I'll give you 50.
Reggie, turn your camera sideways. Amina, you really asked that question for real?
Legit. As I asked it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then it already.
You tried to grab it back like
it already happened. Yeah. Once you get a question, you got to just let it fly.
There you go.
Reggie, turn your camera sideways. Reggie, turn your camera sideways.
Man, I don't got my tripod, Chloe, because I gave it to the cop.
Why'd you give it to the cop?
Why did you give it to the cop?
Yeah, but you... Yeah, whatever. That's a whole nother story. Okay, but still, you can still turn your camera sideways.
Right, wait, why did he?
Now?
Oh, he's not gonna tell the story. Why he giving?
No, it's not a story.
It's not
Is it your dad?
No.
He calls his dad the cop.
The cop.
In public, he has to call him the cop. When they're at home, he's like that.
I feel like if it wasn't Reggie, one of his sisters definitely referred to his dad as the cop.
Yeah,
the cop.
Oh, the cop.
Oh, it's definitely Alexis. It's definitely Alexis.
The cop here to pick you up.
The cop. Definitely Alexis that do that.
Why'd you give your tripod to the cop? Was it like helping out? You just wanted to help out?
Yeah, I was helping out Chloe. Yeah, I'm acting like this is a personal conversation. I don't know why I said that.
Oh shit. Okay.
You say everything is like this is a personal conversation, and then say, oh shit, I forgot, cut that out. Every week we've been doing this shit for 10 weeks, nigga, 10 fucking weeks.
He don't care.
And you don't know how to hold your camera sideways. You forget what time it is. You don't realize
Reggie, that kid that had the sloppy desk.
Oh yeah, when you lift it up.
Remember the nigga desk was just full of papers and cheese.
All crumpled up.
There was sandwiches in that desk.
And Lunchables.
What is happening?
No, he was a kid that pulled out his homework like this and then smoothed it out like that.
Homework?
That was
Give me in-house. I ain't do no homework. In-house suspension, baby.
Shit.
He said, I had in-house.
What?
In-house suspension all day.
In school
Hold on.
suspension.
No, it's called in-house.
He didn't know the difference between house and school.
No,
in
King
Philly.
they call it in-house.
In-house,
suspension.
yeah.
Where you just stayed in like an advisory class all day.
Well, other bad niggas.
Other bad kids too. Yeah.
Question:
bad kids.
Out of everybody here, who has been suspended before?
I think everybody, right?
Everybody.
Wait,
I've never been suspended.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, you're lying.
Menuhin, you been suspended?
He carried knives and guns.
Wait, okay, I want to hear Menuhin, what's your suspension story? You don't have to tell the full story, but why were you suspended?
I was making sounds in class, and I was making fart noises when the teacher bent over. He got pissed off.
How come you don't make fart noises now, nigga?
Because I'm an adult now.
Believable.
As a professor.
I learned my lesson.
Fart noise is still funny, though.
Fart noise is funny. I made fart
quiet.
noises. I did like Mario sounds. I did all types of stuff, and they got mad and threw all my shit out.
Ass school you went to where they suspended you for fart noises.
I got to call my teacher a pussy, and I still didn't get suspended. We like, you bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
Hey man, it was a private school. I called a chick fat one time, and it was like, oh,
damn.
You went to a private school.
Oh wait, Menuhin, you got suspended for like using your words, like no fighting, no stealing. Just you made people hurt their feelings, like
pretty much. Yeah, I didn't.
I got Saturday detention.
Yeah, I didn't stomp nobody out and nothing like that.
No.
Well, I did, but I didn't get suspended for it.
Wait, in high school, what you get suspended? In high school, what you get suspended for?
In high school,
yeah.
I didn't get suspended from high school. I got ISS. I got in-school suspension.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah,
but,
what did you get in school for?
I don't know. I forgot.
No, this nigga didn't.
No, for real.
Trying to put it behind him. He trying to put it behind him.
No. I know what it was. I know what it was.
He slit somebody's throat.
Yeah.
No, I did beats in the cafeteria. Yeah. And I like in my lunch period, I would do the beat for everybody, freestyling, rapping, and sometimes for other like lunch periods, they will go to the classroom and be like, oh yeah, so and so needs a menu at the principal's office, so the other students could get me out of class to do beats in their lunch period. So I was in every lunch, and then they figured it out, and they was like, "Come on, man."
That's called skipping class. That's fire, though. That's called skipping class. He didn't want to. He said everything but skipping class.
Skipping class. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about what it was called.
He's like, yeah, I just stepped out and then came back. No, then you skipped class.
But you know what?
I didn't come back.
They suspended me for making beats, for being so awesome.
Being awesome.
Fucking 59 Asian Slayer.
So what did you get suspended for, Reg? What were some of your suspensions?
I was a dickhead. I was in high school. I was not going to class, pulling fire alarms, playing cards.
Fire alarms.
That's right, boy.
Yeah, man. I was a fire
alarm.
I love how he describes it like that's the shit you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I was in high school.
Playing cards, gambling.
Being in high school.
No, let's be honest. Like pulling fire alarm was the shit. I never got suspended for pulling the fire alarm, especially when they started putting that blue shit on it. That paint that thing.
A myth, hey, bro, that was a myth.
No, they had paint on the back. They really had paint on the back.
They did.
I thought about doing it all the time at Borough, but I pulled it anyway just to see, and I never got that shit on my hand.
Nah,
I thought that was a myth.
It's not a myth. You just take a paper towel and put it around your fingers and then pull that shit.
My thing is, if you gotta do all of that, your ass needs to be suspended.
Exactly.
you got a problem. That's a problem.
You got a problem.
That's premeditated malice.
Get him out of here.
Premeditated malice.
Get him out of here. Monroe, what you got suspended for, Monroe?
Same shit, like dickhead shit, just being loud in class.
And you gotta remember,
annoying.
we went to King.
Yeah,
you do a lot to get suspended in King. Yo.
And King, you just call a teacher a dickhead, throw a piece of paper at him and shit like that.
Wait, bro.
Like,
You went to Martin Luther King?
Yeah, I went to King.
What year?
I went to King too.
I went to King 2000 and I guess 2001 to 2004.
Oh, all right, because I was there in '99. I was there in '98.
Yeah,
so
nigga.
You went to Martin Luther King?
I went to King half a year.
Yo, how'd you like it? That shit was lit, right?
What happened? What happened?
Crazy. My mom moved to Jersey.
We all went to the same high school.
Yeah, we all went to the same high school. Yeah, that's why we great. Because we all went to the same high school.
Yeah, I did a half a year at King.
Okay.
I got kicked out my last year, so I had to graduate from Daniel Boone, which is a behavior. That's how stupid it was. I got kicked out of King my last year, and I had to go to Daniel Boone, which is a behavioral school. They make niggas wear clear book bags and shit.
Did you?
Yo, bro, you was you.
Yeah,
bro,
what did you do? You made it sound like you got suspended for little shit. But you got
No. So what y'all have to understand is when you're a ward of the
drugs.
When you're a ward of the court.
Yo, y'all like shit.
I know. That's why I don't like these niggas.
Hey, Red, but why you doing a voice though? My mom was on drugs.
You know. So I hate y'all.
All right, we listening, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. When you're awarded a court, you like there's certain shit that happens. So like I got suspended for fighting, and instead of just kind of suspending me, my social worker stepped in, and then like they like said that like it was like a behavior that like I was an at-risk youth and all that shit. So then they were just like, all right, well, we got to take him out of this school and put him in another school. And they put me in a behavioral school. But the behavioral school was sweet because I was already like, I was ahead of those dumb kids. And I was like a C+ student at King, which is a fucking B+ student at Daniel Boone. So I was just fucking, I would just skip school and I still passed. And then I went to summer school to graduate.
Yeah,
I didn't go to graduation. I didn't go to graduation. I just had to get my shit in the mail.
King was the school. I got kicked out of Roxborough and had to go to King. So I didn't even know you get kicked out of. I didn't even know you
get kicked out of King. I got kicked out of King my last year.
Yeah,
I got kicked out of Roxborough with the King.
Washington, I went to. Sorry.
Oh, see, this nigga trying to be down.
I wanted to be down for a second. I was like, nah, I was Washington. I wasn't out there with the goons. Sorry.
Washington ain't that sweet though. Washington,
it wasn't. They had barbed wire. They had barbed wire on their fences. I remember that.
It's just in the Northeast. That's it.
I'm mad every city got the same name schools because it was definitely a Washington and a King in Atlanta.
Yeah, and they both stunk. They were terrible.
They put all the black kids in there.
Banneker, Woodland.
Yeah, they closed down the Martin Luther King School, King High School here. Was across the street from the world famous LaGuardia High School for Performing Arts. It's
I know about LaGuardia.
It's like the school that they made fame after. And every day the kids from MLK would beat the fucking bricks off of the LaGuardia kids every day.
The best.
Oh, y'all niggas want to dance and sing these nuts, nigga.
Oh, you got dreams? That is the best.
You want to live forever, huh?
That is the best.
And they
all those people are adults in a small bar in their neighborhood talking about how they used to kick the shit out of those little kids. Like that's their highlight.
Yep.
Well, they closed down the high school. MLK is closed. If you see an MLK high school that's open right now, that's a fucking shining. That's the dream. That was a dream he had to keep his high school with his name alive.
Even King in Philly is now in a reform school. They got like taken over by some like program.
Charter school.
No, not a charter school. It's like a military type school or some shit like that. It's like weird now. They got like a bunch of rules and shit. They flipped that shit.
So wait, Dave, why did you tell why you got suspended?
I have
sold
shit I'm always done. Yeah, I wasn't selling drugs in high school, but I did start skipping school a lot. I would skip school to have sex and then be found out, and now gotta come to end school.
He said he would skip school to have sex.
For intercourse purposes.
God, I would cut school.
Why you ain't just
all
meet before
the time.
school?
But that's the only.
That's how you got to get them before they check in. Like, hey, come with me. You know what I mean?
Like, skip school for Madden tournaments.
Yeah.
Some ads.
Oh, yeah. See, I wasn't even skipping school for ads. I was skipping school to play Madden.
Yeah, you skip school to play Madden, or you skip school to get your hair cut or get some pussy.
Yeah.
I skip school for Madden.
Oh yeah. I would go to school for school, but then
school was fun though.
Yeah, then we started. I got in with some other kids and started scamming a little bit. We had this messed up ring where we would steal like supplies out of the band class and then go sell them at the music store. Look, while my man working the deal at the music store, we sliding shit off the shelf in the music store into the bags.
Taking trumpets.
Oh my God. And then
y'all look terrible.
It got that shit got bad.
Everybody got different lifestyles. You can't judge.
Yeah.
After school for me, I wanted to go to school. Like I remember I used to get put on punishment. And I would have to sneak to go to school because the punishment was you can't go to school, check your attitude.
What type of mom would make you not
you
go to
was a
school?
straight student. She must have been a straight A student.
Wait a minute, what?
No lie. So my mother knew how much we loved going to school. So let us not do some chores. Let us mess up. My mom was like, all right, keep acting like that, your ass gonna stay home. And we
that
like,
is so fucked up.
That is
your punishment is you gonna stay home with me.
And I'll never
no
forget,
education.
We got on punishment and we snuck to go to school, and my mama came and she whooped my ass right in the classroom. I was like,
Jesus
Lord, what's so messed up is when she came to
child services should have stepped in.
All the teachers were scared of my mother, so when she finally came, like every time I would get in trouble in school, they would never call her. So finally, when she came and whooped me, here go my snitching ass teacher trying to throw all this shit on like, you're here. Oh, let me tell you about me. And I was like, God.
Yo, teachers were bitches though. Teachers were snitches.
Did anybody else get beaten in the school? Anybody else get beaten in the school?
In the school?
I didn't get beaten in school.
In middle school, my mom and dad was posted up by the boys' bathroom. I'm walking in the hall, joking around with my friends. I see my mom and dad posted, so I'm like, oh shit. My dad called me over. We walk in the boys' bathroom. He beats the shit out of me, and my mom stands in front of the boys' bathroom. This is students' bathroom.
To make sure,
She said guard.
And when I came out, my dad threw me out. I'm crying. Everybody's still in the hall. Everybody knew I got my ass whooped.
Yeah.
And for the 2 years I was there, they was teasing me every year.
What Reggie, what did you do that they needed to come and beat you on site?
That's excessive.
I was bad, boy. Crazy. I don't know what I did, but they was.
What did he do? His dad a cop. That's how he handles shit.
Yeah.
Never forget that shit. I came in. My dad was posted up, and he said, "Come here." And I walked in the bathroom. In the studio, you couldn't even go to the bathroom. My mom was outside, like, "Nah, don't go."
Okay, your mom was posted on guard though. Your mom posted on guard to make sure nobody.
I wonder why they didn't stick together.
So nobody could film that shit.
Were they together at the time? Were they still together? A couple?
No, they was just a team. It was a team.
They came together to beat you down.
Jesus Christ.
You got two divorced people to come to the school.
So you brought them together.
Bad, Reggie.
Wait, hold on. First of all, Reggie, the fact that they were divorced and they both showed up at your school, you should really remember what you got your ass beat for, because that seems like that's a big thing to get them to be on the same page.
He was sucking the Beatles back together. You was sucking dick, Reggie. Admit it.
No,
what?
Okay, God damn,
that would make two parents come to school.
Why are you like
whoop
that?
Your ass.
Yeah, he's wild.
Amina, you just heard this man. You just heard this man say that he didn't go to school to have sex with girls and stole equipment.
Yeah,
what are you
right? I don't even know why
Dave gonna say that.
I don't even know why I'm shocked.
Oh man.
I'm so tired.
Dave, you corrupt, Dave. Dave head is dirty. Yo, Dave head in the gutter all the time.
I mean, it's like, why are you like that?
Why? He thought you was
like,
it had
all
to
right,
be.
let's
That's
just...
the only thing that makes sense. That's all you could have did.
You was sucking dick. What?
Hey, all he got to do is say that's not what it was.
That's not what it was.
Right.
Amina, might I remind you that Dave is the guy that said if a girl got those crusty Ugg boots on, she got a little dookie left in her vagina. Dave said that.
It's true.
He said that.
How did the dookie get to the vagina?
I'm tired.
She wiped forward. She wiped forward, bro.
She was forward rather than backwards.
or she was riding a bicycle in her pajamas. Who knows?
I'm tired. Hey, Chloe, mute Dave.
Okay. I'm muting Dave. Dave is muted.
God.
He can't talk for the rest of the world.
That's all you tell us. Somebody say something, you mute him.
I muted him. He's muted.
How long Dave muted for? Don't mute Dave.
I'll mute him for 1 minute. 1 minute.
Chloe can
1 minute.
tell us why she was so good at school and she didn't
tell us why you're so good at school.
Oh, I mean, well, first of all, I got bullied already, so my parents didn't need to like be extra strict with me because I already was dealing with so much other shit. So they just was like, we know it's fucked up, so just be all you can be, and that was it.
You had your in-school punishment. Okay.
Yeah.
School was, we're gonna call them bitches back.
School was my punishment. Going to school was my punishment. I mean,
how was you bullied though? Like, I feel like because in high school you was bigger, you was taller. How? Like, I feel like the big girls in my school they ran that shit.
True. No, I mean, because it was that comes from a place of like self-confidence and a defense mechanism. And so because I started school at 4, I was the youngest and the biggest. I didn't have any siblings. I was the only child. I didn't have like other kids around me to help socialize me. So a lot of the shit that young kids know, especially like street kids, I didn't fucking know. So I was the gimp. I was like always like, that's really what's happening. And I would just get like gamed all the time.
You was a walking punching bag.
Yeah. So it just left me open to just be too vulnerable and like understanding and nice. And I still feel like I have parts of that in my personality where I like give people the benefit of the doubt. No, that's not true. But what I'm saying is like, I try to see I try to see the good in people. And I feel like also with me, it's like, I believe that people have more sense. So like Monroe will tell you like, I'm like, but why didn't they just do like, this is the logical thing. Right. And they be like, people don't think like, for example, when it came down, I'm muting you now, Dave. When it came down to,
Welcome back.
Unmute yourself.
How y'all put me in school on a goddamn podcast?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you need it. You need a timeout.
Put him in our headsets, yo.
That should be a new rule. That should be a thing. 1 minute is long though.
Yeah, 1 minute felt long. I started to feel sorry. Like, come on.
I did. I was almost like, yeah.
You know, you should put him in podcast jail.
Yeah.
But even when everybody was applying for like that $10,000 for small businesses, I was like, oh, you know what? I could use it, but I don't really need it. I know people who need it. And then you turn around and see fucking like Papa John's and the Lakers got, like, so to me, that's the leftover residue of being like, people should do the right thing, right? And then people
no.
Oh, wow. People are going to people. Remember? Yeah, that was a good line.
No, my shit is niggas is gonna nig. Niggas
exactly.
Is gonna
nig. And that's why I am the way I am, Amina.
Yeah.
Listen, you ain't got nothing to prove to me, bro.
Hey,
do your thing.
I'm in the kitchen cooking with the gun by the sink because I don't know what niggas thinking, but I know how they think. Ooh.
Oh, my
yeah.
What is that? Beanie Siegel?
Was that?
That's Lil Wayne. That's Lil Wayne.
Oh. Look, they knew it was you.
Oh yeah, I don't rap.
That was dope.
All right, so let me ask y'all this. Has anybody received any text messages, DMs, or phone calls from some white acquaintances trying to gauge where our black rage is this week?
I just say thank you. I got a couple long
I did too. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. I'm not gonna say who they were. They were like people who we work with and they're professional. But I was just like, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Like, you don't gotta, because this shit happens all year around. Why are you just now going, man, I'm so sorry that this is happening? It's like, you don't care. But I
didn't say thank you. I didn't say thank you. I just
go, thank you. I appreciate it and keep it moving. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Because I know how hard it is to do something outside of yourself. And I'm not going to shoot that down. You know what I mean? Like, it probably took a lot in them to write that text message and be like, I just want to make sure my friend is okay. And to me, I'm like, nigga, this shit has been going on forever.
Well, that's the thing. That's why for me, I'm like, you just doing this to say you did it, and I'm not
going to take that moment
validate. I'm not going to validate and be like, oh, thank you, you're such a good person. Like, if you say, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good.
I'm not gonna say you're a good person. I just don't think.
Nah, because that's what they want. That's what they want right now. That's what they want. They will come to your doorstep begging to be called a good person. So don't.
And then if you do it, like, you don't want to respond like mean about it, because then that turns them. They go, I took him in front of Mina the other day. Ugh, like, and then they out there upset.
I'm not gonna be concerned about how you receive my response, because ain't nobody asked you to message me. But I'm not gonna also be gracious, like, oh, look at you. I'm like, you say, hey, just checking in. How are you? I'm good.
Right.
Work.
Yeah.
Cool. You send money on a Venmo. I hit you can tap the hearts.
Well, if they got an iPhone, it's do Apple Pay.
How many? Yeah. I mean, how many unsolicited Venmo Black donations have you received?
Oh, you got donations?
It was only 2. It should have been more, but my friends got more, so I was happy for them. But
they get paid?
Excuse me?
Motherfuckers, people will always exploit the Black struggle. Al Sharpton.
Everybody does music, entertainment.
So wait,
you got Venmo?
Whoa.
Yeah, it sounds like Amina to turn Black Lives Matter into her personal OnlyFans.
Amina got paid, Amina matters. It sounds like, what? Wait a minute, you got Venmo checking?
White people who want to be down, send me money.
Okay, I didn't ask anybody for anything. Okay, I just been over here minding my business.
Look,
I'm trying to get my shit together.
Amina just posting the blackest picture she can find. And people be like, yeah, go ahead, donate.
Donate to her cause.
Donate.
I didn't know.
Wow, I know people was getting paid.
Money.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way.
I'm just sending it right back to the white man.
No.
What you mean? No, hold on. No. But that's the thing. Like, most of it is like stimulus check and unemployment money and all that stuff. So you might as well let us suck some of that up. I mean, it's not wrong. Get that money, girl.
No, get the money. I didn't know.
I'm not gonna refund. I'm not gonna refund somebody money that they sent me.
Right.
Wait, what was the note on it?
Get whatever you want. thinking of you.
Can we say? Can you? Was it enough to get whatever you want?
Make a sugar daddy app or something.
Wait,
I mean, you know, a little Uber Eats. You know what I'm saying? A little meal.
wait. So they sent you $20. Hey, get whatever you want.
Meal.
A little meal.
A little meal.
They went like this.
$25.
They went like this. They was like,
Uber driver.
Here you go, black girl. Here you go. Here you go, Mina.
no.
Here you go. Is that good?
We know
Wait,
this
no.
means a
They were
lot
like,
to your
wait.
people.
They were like, does this fix 475 years of enslavement? Would this work? Does that help you out? Does this pay you for the cotton that you picked? Is this for your nana and them that was on the sharecropping? Is that
Oh my God.
For your nana.
But but that brings us to a really good point. What can white people do to earn black people's respect? And
Just shut up. Just stop talking for a little while. Just stop talking. Don't
Stop talking.
Silence is always better.
Nigga, just do whatever a black person tells you. Like, let's just treat them like. Let's treat them like pledges in a fraternity. Like, you know, we're just gonna abuse them for a while, and they're never gonna get the acceptance. But we hold them to it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think there's an answer for that. But the people that are like overdoing it, and even when somebody put up a post like, "Don't be that person at the office," like, "Oh, I didn't know." I'm so, like, it's like, come on, like just let's not play.
Just shut up.
But it's a lot of like NASCAR did a whole Black Lives Matter video, and I was just like, come on,
NASCAR?
like, we know where you
Hey,
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
And I was like, come on, man. Y'all
We're not driving those cars.
I felt bad.
Like,
There's like black NASCAR drivers.
Yo, so Sunday,
like that though.
There's like 3.
But
Exactly.
They never won any championships.
No, but I will say this before George Floyd happened and all of this like civil unrest, NASCAR had a Corona event where their drivers were playing on this game simulation, and one of the drivers called somebody a nigger, and it was like live, and they banned him. So I would say in terms of NASCAR, it might be something that they was already moving towards, because also NASCAR, I mean, if you're smart about your business, right, and you got to look at your bottom line, you got to realize that your white middle America fan base is dwindling, because white men in America have the highest rate of suicide. There's opioid addiction. There's so many things that are ravaging. There's so many things that are ravaging white Americans. That's why they're so That's why they're so angry. That's why they're so upset. That's why they want to make sure that they can secure their financial future, because they know that their shit is fucked up. And so if you're a business, you gotta I need to diversify my audience. So I think that was a part of NASCAR being like, we want to be more inclusive. We want more people to come to these events. So I would say NASCAR, I would give them the benefit of the doubt.
So we should go to a NASCAR event this summer.
Yeah, I guess so. Shit, but damn, you can't even say nigga at NASCAR anymore.
I mean, I'm looking.
Did he get cut
why
off?
are you saying nigga at NASCAR?
Hey, I get it. I don't want him to be said either, but it's just like, damn. Ooh,
you ever seen the crowd that'll be at NASCAR, Mina? It's some N-word wielding white crack. It's some crackers up in there, bro.
Yeah, you won't have to go to a log cabin now to say it.
Yeah.
You don't have to let NASCAR
With a rifle.
Well, NASCAR, they have a lot of money. The drivers may not make that much money, but there's a lot of sponsorships that fucking
it's tons.
It's all over the car.
Yeah.
You see the video? You can tell it was edited. Like,
when the tire hit that lady.
I want to say I stand with the niggers. I mean, do it again. Black Lives. No, it's so edited. It's so funny.
This Black Lives Matter thing, though, I'm not gonna lie. Watching the protest die down was the saddest thing ever.
So like
Sunday, protest is definitely not dying down.
They just taking a little break, Dave.
Right.
They just ain't
Sunday when I went out,
they still out there.
They had a little, you could come out, you could eat outside and shit. So I went to this little spot to have a couple drinks. And it was like, 40 white people that came by marching. And I'm not going to lie, we felt guilty as black people just sitting out here having drinks. And it was like 40 white people like, come on.
No, that's what
they're mad at you. They're like,
I know, right?
That's what they should know. That's what they should be doing. That's what they should be doing. And that's what
I felt a little weird. I went to a protest and we all got on the knee and we put up our fists. And I had looked around, all these white people with their fists up. I was just like, Like,
I mean, but isn't that the
point
point though? Like, isn't that what you want? You want.
I want, but I don't want that. I don't want certain stuff like that. I don't know. It just made me feel weird. Like,
so then what?
You gotta get used to it, like how Simba had to when they all bowed down.
So what's the change then, though? I'm saying, what's the change if the change isn't the white people?
The change is when you lead a protest and you go on about your daily. That's where the change comes in at. Because I was looking at some of the white bitches like, soon as y'all feel threatened, all this shit out the window. That little fist you put up don't mean shit.
Reggie said, "Take the kente off."
They're gonna put that fist and it's gonna have mace in it. The little fist gonna have a can of mace.
Or that ninja dust.
So Dave, it went from 40 white people to no white people protesting.
Monday was one guy sitting with a sign. I thought he was asking for change. I'm not bullshitting. There was one guy.
You just ain't get the memo. They was supposed to take a break. They doing that increment.
Yeah, but also did Philly open back their city yet? Did Philly go back to like, is it phase 1 open? Because like in New York here, it's phase 1. Well, I don't know what the colors mean, but like Monday in New York, businesses started to open, so people are starting to go back to work.
Yeah, people are on the trains Monday.
Yeah, so that could be part of it too. Is like, you know, folks.
Everybody went back to work, and my man was like, "I do it again."
Yeah.
But also, I heard of protesters instead of getting burnt out and doing it over and over again, they're doing like sometime on, sometime off. So maybe, I'm telling you, they just probably ain't
maybe that could be what they do though. You might have a point, Amina, where maybe they should do all of the marching. So black people could go back to working and making money, and white people should take the next 3 months off to just march and protest in the street every day.
Yeah, because the white people be all up in the cop's face talking shit, like yelling close as shit, like, "You're wrong. You need to be defended."
And that's why they need to protest, because Black people or Hispanic people, Latinx people alone are not going to change shit. It has to be white people going out in the street. It had to be white people getting their face fucking punched in and knocked down and head cracked open for them to realize that they need to actually change shit. Because if it's just us, they think that we can handle the pain, and so they think it's they believe the fantasy that, you know, either we did something to deserve to be choked out, or, you know, that's just our culture to be violent, and so they got to get their fucking face punched
like
in.
That 75-year-old man that got pushed. That 75-year-old man that got pushed, he was on the cop side probably. He's like bringing him that helmet.
I need to see it. I need to see a 22-year-old get his head busted.
Yeah, Trump apparently said that he was trying to turn some of their equipment off, and he fell harder than he was pushed.
That don't even make sense. How did you fall harder than you were
blood
pushed?
came out his ears.
Blood came out his ears. That shit look like a Jackass sketch. Like
that man said he was pushed, but he took the rest of his own stuff.
Yeah. That was definitely Johnny Knoxville in an old man suit.
Yeah.
That was Eric Andre.
The fact that we are back to focusing on 45's tweets, does it kind of feel like we're going through the cycle of, okay,
absolutely,
the momentum has, and now we start over again where we're back to tweets and we're back to the petty bickering and fighting before we get to another big explosion?
Well, I don't think we could I don't think we should let the media drive exactly what's happening behind it. Like they play on stuff like this for a reason, to get a reaction and response from us. But people have been working at this for a long time, so some of his tweets don't have nothing to do with anything.
But that's what I'm saying. The fact that the media, that we all know about these tweets, because I don't follow him, so we know about it from the media.
That's what the media.
And that's
does.
what I'm saying. If the media just showcased the world on fire prior to the world coming to an end because of an international pandemic, now we're talking about tweets again. Mm-hmm. Like literally, the world has been on fire for 4 months. And now it's a beautiful day outside. We're fine. Did you see what the president tweeted? Like, we're right back to square one. Like, the shit never happened.
Yeah, it's a news.
Just reset.
It's money for them though, right?
Yeah.
Like the more they have to find some fire to focus on.
Yeah.
So and there was a question that was posed in the group that we wanted to talk about, and I want to get to this. Like, can defunding the police, you know, be more of an issue in the long term? And I also want to propose that question about the media, So I want to talk first about defunding police. You know, this is a issue that we're pushing forward, you know, defunding the police in multiple cities. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I put that up there because I'm not sure what that entails. And I'm like, if you take less money from an organization, that doesn't motivate them to do a better job. That's
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Makes them use their money.
Well, you understand usually the issue or the agenda when you defund an organization is you have in place something else that you want to put in its place.
Yeah.
So when you go ahead.
One, if you had watched my brand new show, Chloe Across America, which debuted last night on all of my social media platforms, you would have heard the conversation. No, but seriously, the thing about defunding the police, and I think what is problematic about that phrasing is that when people hear it, they think it means no police, right? Yeah. And some people will advocate that we don't need police at all. Some would advocate that we need to completely change the police process, the training process. And some believe that we need to give them more money so that they can have more training. And so when you hear defund the police, you got to look at the budgets, right? So in New York City, most major metropolitan cities, the police department has the biggest budget on the yearly budget every single year. So in New York City, there are over 65,000 police officers in New York City alone. And the budget is about, I want to say like $5.6 billion a year. And so when you think, but also when you think about it, it's not just like their salaries, it's the pension, it's the health insurance, it's paying for civil lawsuits when they fuck around and kill somebody or choke somebody and there's a settlement. Like all of that money comes from that. And our taxpayer dollars fund them as well. So when people say defund the police, it's like, if you keep taking money from core resources that people need in the community, like job placement, like education, food services, all of these things that contribute to crime, when you don't have those options, then you won't have as many arrests because the people will get the basic necessities and more that they deserve, instead of cutting all that funding and then just, you know, also militarizing the police. And that was another thing, was like not many years ago, but after after Desert Storm, and then also with George W. Bush, the war overseas, all of that military equipment they just had, they were giving it to police departments around the country. And so now you have a police officer who has military grade armor in fucking small ass cities. And so that's part of the problem.
They be looking like dickheads in uniform too.
But see, that's the thing that scares me also, is that cycle of, okay, here's old military equipment that we've already moved on, and now you guys can use this to patrol citizens. And we know that the military, what they do, they're advanced. So this is kind of like leading to like the plot of RoboCop, where it's like, okay, well, we've got robots and drones that you can use now, and there's no longer manpower. So, you know what I mean? And that would be done cheaper, but now we have no humanity at all. You know what I mean? And I think that's a long-term problem once you start all of that cyber monitoring.
OCP needed help. You gotta understand, that was future Detroit.
Every department right now, but every city looks the way the Chicago was depicted in that movie, or Detroit was depicted in that movie. Literally, it's on fire and it's burning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're like, how, you know, what they don't show in RoboCop is how they got there. This is it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I'll take it all back.
Damn, I gotta watch that movie. I ain't seen
RoboCop was the boy. RoboCop 1. Get the that thing was.
But remember how violent that robot was. That robot arrested nobody. He just murdered people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was probably a bad cop before he got.
He was a bad cop.
Yeah, you can't bring a robot up on charges. You know what I mean? Like we're going down a slippery slope, I think, when we start looking at defunding the police. And I personally think,
but we still mailing in ballots. So how we gonna go from mailing in ballots to RoboCops?
Because that narrative even coming around means someone's pushing that for a reason.
I think they'll start doing drone strikes first before you know what I mean?
I mean,
how did they get
drones are illegal in Manhattan?
I mean, but not if they're in the hands of law enforcement and they're using them to be like, hey, instead of us patrolling the neighborhoods, why don't we just send drones to check it out first?
Yep.
Then they're going to weaponize those drones, and they'll be like, all right, well, here was the problem. We deemed it violent. We eradicated it. Like in Philly, they
Well,
dropped the bombs on the fucking the helicopters. Dropped the bombs on the whole
on
neighborhood.
West Street.
That
On
shit
West
can
Street,
do.
yeah.
That
West
shit
Street,
can definitely happen again.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It's not even about it. A part of it is definitely about defunding the police, and I'm in full agreement with that. The other issue is we have to look at training and we have to look at hiring practices, because when you realize that a lot of these officers are white supremacists, and they, with intent, they purposely went and got jobs in the police department so they can unleash their brutality on Black and brown people. Those people need to lose their jobs.
Absolutely.
And so in New York today, they just repealed this ordinance called 50A, 50-A, which means that now, after many years, if a police officer did some fucked up shit, now that record, how he was disciplined, is public information. And so for a while, they were shielding all that stuff. So if a cop was known for beating up people on a regular and then he got in trouble for it, you could never see what his track record was. So they're trying to give us like inches when we really need miles. And so they're trying to give us a little stuff here and there, but people are not gonna, I mean, we should not be happy. I feel like the whole system needs to be broken down and then rebuilt with consensus of what we want to happen.
How long do you think that'll take?
Ages.
We're gonna be dead and gone.
I don't think it'll be ages. I think more white people are gonna take to the streets and they're gonna get beat up, and then they're gonna vote out the people who pass the legislation. And
I'll be
then
glad
also,
when they kill 10 white protesters and everything will change. If they kill like a bunch of white people protesters, that'll be a lot of new legislation and new mandates and all kinds of shit. But the cops got to do it.
Yeah, but also not just with the cops. It's like you're going to see a lot of white people who feel emboldened to take justice into their own hands. And so when you have a white person who comes out, who pulled out the gun,
No, but there was also a guy who was shooting bow and arrows into a crowd, and they beat the shit out of him with a fucking skateboard.
I love that. That was hilarious. That was like watching a little kid discover that his superpowers didn't work.
Yep. He's like, what do you mean I had no web?
He was in the news like 2 black guys beat me up, and they cut to the clip, and it's like,
to be honest,
no one likes those people that try to tell you, it's like, man, shut the fuck up.
I thought that was going to happen more though, with the whole, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. I thought that was going to happen.
I'm glad
that was going to blow up, and that white people with guns were going to start taking the law into their own hands. I thought we were going to see more of that, but I'm happy.
But see, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's the weird, like those guys that are like that. How close proximity do you think they are to where you guys are geographically? White guys with trucks and guns and ready to go.
I mean, New York City,
Long Island and up, that definitely happens. Anywhere they have garbage plates, if they have a meal called the garbage plate,
I went hiking upstate and they definitely. I was like,
any town that drizzles baked beans over every entree, they If they put a label of baked beans on the whole plate, somebody gets shot at Walmart.
If they put tater tots and ground beef in the same.
Holy shit.
That shit,
yo. And this is fun. Look, I love it. It's all hilarious. But on the converse, do you understand? If you went on a podcast and heard white people making these kind of jokes about black people, you'd be like, yo, this shit is mad fucking offensive. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. We all have that shit, dude. Like, I think if anything, this feels like an episode of Black Mirror that has forced us all to take a look at our behavior. How we really are. The police have got a chance to see exactly who the fuck they are. White people have got a chance to see exactly who the fuck they are. Black people have got a chance to see exactly who the fuck we are. And the greatest thing about this thing was the cameras were rolling nonstop. We didn't miss an inch of this shit. We saw it all. We saw the ugly on every. Remember, niggas was beating up Asians at the beginning of this shit. At the beginning of COVID-19. Like, everybody was fucking disgusting this past 4 months, and the cameras were rolling nonstop. We saw it. We are all disgusting fucking people. Move on. Like, let's get on with this shit.
Let me ask y'all this. Are y'all gonna start like buying black? Are y'all
I will. Yes. Absolutely.
This definitely made me start paying attention more on like black products and just being. I mean, if something is way out of the way, then no. But I am.
What do you
going to
mean
start,
way out of the way? When you like, nigga, if it's across the street,
but it definitely. I definitely have a list of like black-owned restaurants that I want to try in Philly, and I will try to spend more like black-owned stuff and just bring. It definitely brought more awareness more than ever for this one. All the other ones, not so much. But this time, I'm like, all right, all black everything. Fuck
all black, support your shit. Let your shit run it up.
What's that that coat shop? They got a jacket shop in Brooklyn. I need to go to.
Best I Fly. I like Best I
Fly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the other joint, Brooklyn Circus. Yeah, I gotta go there. I gotta start getting clothes from there.
Yeah, and we also gotta be patient.
Yeah.
And we also black people just gotta be patient with black-owned businesses too. I think.
Yeah, because they take forever.
Mean.
They take forever.
You can't generalize, but
here's my thing, though.
Everybody generalizes.
No, I knew that
black-owned restaurant one time. I went to a black-owned restaurant in Brooklyn, and I had the shits and throwing up.
Yeah, so you just
but that was a part of the package, though.
You're gonna have to keep that to yourself. Any bad experience you have to keep to yourself.
No, that'll stop you. No, fuck it.
Damn, hold on, because that's how it becomes abusive. I mean, that's how
it don't stop
abusive.
you from going to a Chinese restaurant.
Well, you need to address it. You need to address it with them personally so they can rectify the situation.
At a Chinese restaurant?
No, a Chinese restaurant gives you food poisoning like every other fucking time you eat it.
Yeah, that's not true. I think that's just no. First of all, time out. Wait. That was just a gross generalization, Monroe. You have a very sensitive digestive tract. Don't try to blame Chinese people for giving you fucking.
Goddamn racist.
I thought y'all would be on my side. At least
Dave was talking about.
Y'all left me hanging.
So we know if we was cops, we would have to look out for Monroe. Like that nigga's a loose cannon. So.
Listen, I mean, I could have been with you if you said sushi. Yes, I could get sushi, but Chinese food. You know how fucking hot the fire is to cook Chinese food.
Yeah,
chicken with broccoli is flaming, son.
No, look at the shame in Monroe.
I thought y'all had my back, yo. I thought y'all had my back.
Yo, this is post-protest locker room talk with the cops, man. I don't know what I thought y'all had my back.
I thought y'all had me. I pushed that old man, and I thought y'all was gonna fucking keep walking.
Did you see the nigga try to pick him up? He was like, no. He ran down to get him. He was like, nah.
He's like, just come get him.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But that's the mentality that we got to get out of here. So if defunding the police means that special task force in Buffalo no longer exists because they don't have the money for it, then I'm all for it. And they all resigned. All like 52 of them resigned in solidarity with the two guys who pushed the old man. And so that just goes to show you.
Old man blood came out his ears.
I know. But the thing is,
solidarity. So where they gonna go work?
I never fall down and blood pour out my ears. That man got hurt. So
yeah, they're probably gonna start a security company because they still have the right to carry guns, and in Buffalo you can carry guns, and they're gonna just fucking do shit like that.
They're gonna ban people. Remember, they're gonna ban black people with jeans with too tight with baggy jeans on.
Remember when Chris Jarrell got cops called on him in Buffalo? It was in Buffalo.
Wait, what happened?
Chris,
the restaurant.
The restaurant. He tried to tell us a long time ago.
Chris who? Chris Cotton?
Chillrell.
Chillrell.
Wait, what's the story? Wait, tell the story. I'm confused.
He was sitting at a restaurant. He was shooting a show. He was shooting a movie, I think. He was shooting that Crown Vic movie. And he went to a restaurant and got some takeout to go, but I guess in the time that he was getting it to go, like he got into an argument with the manager there, and they called the cops on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he went on. Actor was kicked out of Buffalo restaurant for wearing hoodie. Yeah. He was wearing a hoodie. He was asked to take his hood off. He refused to take his hood off.
He can wear a hoodie though.
That was the issue. Yeah. It was around the whole Trayvon shit, and that was the thing. He had his hood up in the restaurant. They asked him to remove his hood while he was waiting on his food. He refused to remove his hood. He said he didn't have to. They went back and forth. They tried to refuse the service. He stayed and called the cops, and he went public. Yeah, he did a couple articles and stuff about that.
He must have wasn't that hungry.
Wait.
He wasn't that hungry. Because if I'm hungry as shit, it's like, all right, cool. But if I ain't, like, he didn't give a shit.
Nah,
So
it's
he
your
wasn't that hungry.
feelingness. It's your feelingness.
Like, yo, Reg.
'Cause if you're in, like, if you're standing there and you're just like, I'm already getting it to go, and they're like, take your hood off, and you're like, come on, dude, I already paid.
So
like, get the fuck out of my face.
I could probably send this to you, Chloe. That's probably the best way to do it. But if you pull up the picture,
we just put it in the chat.
Yeah, he brought to his attention when he was asked to take off the hoodie. He brought it to the owner's attention that there are other people wearing hoodies in the restaurant. Why are you coming to me? In which case, the owner said, "Fuck you, you're not welcome, and don't come back." So the tweet that he posted that made him go viral was him explaining what happened with a caption, a picture under it of him and a white guy behind him wearing a hoodie, enjoying his meal.
He did. Yep.
While he's being asked, take your hoodie off, and then when he goes, "Why do I have to take off my hoodie?" That guy didn't take off.
He's not even eating there.
Yeah, he tell the guy to leave.
Yeah. Wow.
See, he went the viral. He went the internet way, whereas like I'm not going that way. It's just like, pussy, fuck this place, knock something over and leave.
But then that's destruction of property.
Yeah.
Now they have the right to call the cops.
I'm not thinking about pulling out my phone and trying to get viral.
That's the reason why our chairs are nailed to the ground at McDonald's now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Cause somebody going fucking come in there and go, pussy.
Oh yeah, black people love throwing them chairs. We love it.
But that just goes to show you that sometimes the media is necessary.
Mm-hmm. The media has always been necessary.
Right. Now,
I don't think
depends on how you use it.
Do we feel as though the media was handled their, I guess it's not a fiduciary responsibility, but do you think they handled their role responsibly these past 4 months?
I think they, at least from what I started to see, I felt like they actually started showing more of the truth. Because usually when you see riots and you see cops involved, they take the side of the cops, but they actually started showing cops like kind of fucking up and being like, yo, no, these niggas is wilding.
But at first,
took a while.
But I mean, everything
right.
that we cared about, we don't seem to care about anymore.
What do
2
you
months
mean?
ago, we were upset because they were putting dead bodies into fucking trailers all around the city.
Yeah.
We don't even care whether that's still a thing anymore. What do we do with all of the dead bodies?
They went to restaurants. These restaurants got to open back up.
Right.
You're going to get a lot of tacos, new taco flavors.
Oh, no.
So
On that note, that's it. That's where I
we
go.
gotta leave. No, come on.
No, this has been going on for some time. We can save some for next week.
God damn it. Is it me? Did I ruin it?
Yeah, you ruined it.
No, Chloe's just trying to leave.
No, it's been over an hour. It's been over an hour.
All right. That's so funny. It's gonna be a whole
Love you guys.
lot.
Really on a good note, Monroe and I went bike riding on Sunday. So if you have a bike, come join us. And we're trying to do once a week.
Yeah,
we're gonna do Friday. We're doing Friday this week.
We're doing Friday this week. We're gonna do it once a week.
Can I get a city bike?
Yeah, get a city bike. Yeah, you know they're heavy though, so they're heavy. So as long as you can handle that shit, yeah,
it'll be fun.
It's fun. We go through Brooklyn and stuff like that.
We're meeting at 11:30, so you would need to meet us. Are you like good with a bike? Because we're not coming into the city for you, so you got to come.
I did bike rides across Georgia. I don't want to drop my resume on y'all, but I did bike rides across Georgia, so we can just leave it there.
That's right.
Okay, fine.
She was like, I was on 285 Spaghetti Junction.
Yeah. So meet us in Queens.
Long Island City Piers, right? Is that how we're gonna do it? All right, yeah.
Long Island City Piers.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Y'all. Love y'all, man. Be safe.
Say bye. Hussein, close us out.
Thank you for watching another episode of the 6 Foot Nothing podcast. I am Monroe Martin. That's Derek Gaines. It's Chloe Hilliard, Menu and Hart, Reggie Conquest, Dave Temple, and Amina Imani.
Fuck!
Yeah!
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Love you.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, man.
Love y'all. Stay good.
Love you.